Hi, welcome to Mom Talk for Adults. And I'm Vashti, and I have not done this in a while, but something was just on my mind. And that is, the political scene is crazy, and we're more, I should say, polarized than ever. We all know this. But one of the things I was thinking about is the fact that I just saw a recent meme, it was from somebody that I respect and really like, but we do have different perspectives on how to take care of a problem. We probably see the problem as equally as important as each other, but how to solve that problem, we see it differently. And it's just a person that I follow, a famous person actually. And one of the things that they said is, the government does not make decisions based upon how people are feeling. They don't listen to what people are feeling. And so I'm just going to say flat out, and this is a universal truth. If you're a parent, if you're a teacher, I was in corrections and was, worked in from a treatment perspective. So with juvenile corrections, which has a treatment model, and in adult corrections as a treatment provider. And that model, in terms of helping people succeed, helping people do well, is not using feelings as a benchmark at all for any decision making. You can use feelings as a benchmark for relationship growing, but not for decision making. Feelings are information. They are not instructions. We do want to know how people feel because we care about people individually, but feelings are never going to be a reason that we make a decision or that we set a standard. The premise of setting standard or making laws or rules, whether, it was in my home with my little babies, my little kids, in this very, very small micro system, all the way up to my macro system, is making the decision based upon the person's value, not their feelings. And a lot of times people don't understand their own value. They don't see their own value. They only know how they feel. And so it is the responsibility of the people who are in charge, who are informed, who are knowledgeable, who take the time to be informed and knowledgeable. And the only reason I can say anything is because in my professional career and also as a mother, I became informed and knowledgeable. I had a lot of training. I went to college. I went to school. They trained me very well. The people that I worked for, whether it was for the state or private organizations, they gave me good information. They gave me good training. That training taught me and showed me how to implement treatment methodologies, doing strength-based things, skill building, practicing, reframing, all of that stuff. I'm not a genius. I don't know any of that. I learned that stuff through my training and education. And we did that to connect people with their personal value and their personal agency. We didn't care whether they said, I don't feel like it, or I don't feel good, or I don't feel, or I don't want to. We cared only to the degree that it let us know where they stood, and how we can connect with them relationally to help them move up and over. But it didn't change the standard. It didn't change how we went forward with the standards. And it didn't change the methodologies that we used. Well, it changed the methodologies, but it didn't change the benchmarks, which is to help, corrections. It was to help people be able to re-enter the community without going back to prison, re-enter being more functional. And as a parent, your goal is to help your child be functional in society, to be able, to be capable, to be connected to their self-agency. And so if that's what we want for people in general, and in our families and our communities, we cannot make decisions based upon how a person is feeling. Also, because our feelings are completely subjective and different from day to day, and just all the time, not from person, even from person to person, but your feelings can be different for one person in one day. It has to be based upon concrete evidence, concrete purpose, concrete goals that can be measured and weighed, and based upon our core values, based upon, what our purpose is, based upon what our mission is. And, if whatever the mission or purpose is, that's what you make decisions around. That's how you make laws. That's how you have standards. And ultimately, it is going to be because we understand that we are valuable as people and we want to protect our personal value. And that includes having high standards. That includes enforcing those standards because it's worth it to protect our value. Does it make people feel bad sometimes? Absolutely. Boundaries, in my experience, almost always feel like a threat. Boundaries almost always feel personal and are always shocking when, they're received. But of course, it's still healthy to set up boundaries, not only for your own mental and emotional health, but as a exemplar, as a way to model self-respect and value. Anyway, just something to think about. This is Vashti coming to you from Vashti's house. Hope you have a great day and make yourself at home. I'm totally at the bank. Make yourself at home.